the cornstarch in the lemon meringue pie filling isn't the only reason why you see weeping in lemon meringue pies. The meringue also has a lot to do with it, if not the majority of the reason it happens. Now, most of the time you use a French meringue for your lemon meringue pie, which is typically a weaker meringue because it's not cooked. And what ends up happening is it breaks down or collapses. And so those air bubbles that were holding together those sugary, syrupy liquids are popping. And since the other bubbles can't hold it up, it just seeps out of your pie. So one solution to get around that is to use a cooked meringue, one example, which is a very easy example, is Swiss meringue. Now, I already have a video on how to make Swiss meringue buttercream, but we're going to go ahead and just review how to make Swiss meringue, so I can also make this a separate video on its own as well. So here I've got 5 egg whites, which is about 5 ounces, with 6 ounces of granulated sugar, which is about 3/4 cup. And we're going to cook it over a double boiler. See, I've got some water that's gently simmering. It's almost there anyway. Thought it was simmering. If you just want it gently simmering, you don't want to boil too hard because you don't want the steam coming up and burning you, of course. And we're going to cook it until it reaches 150 degrees, and that's food safe. If you want, you can cook it as low as 120 degrees, but really you should be going for 150 degrees, which is also an advantage with Swiss buttercream, is that it's cooked, is that it's food safe, especially when you cook it to that high 150 degree temperature. So what's going on here is that some of the water is being evaporated out of the egg whites, which makes them a little bit stronger, but we're also making sure that the sugar is extra dissolved because of the heat. We're also helping the water bond to the sugar and to the proteins in the egg whites a little bit better, and we're also helping the egg whites unfold a little bit better, so that way when we whip them up, they form a stronger structure. So just like whenever you make a French meringue or any meringue at all, you want to make sure you wipe out your bowl with a little bit of vinegar, which helps make sure your bowl is extra clean. Sometimes you can get a little bit of fat residue along the sides of the bowl that you can't see, but it can prevent your egg whites from whipping up very nicely. You also want to make sure your egg whites are separated cleanly, no yolks in your eggs. Now, I'm not trying to whip up the egg whites or anything like that right now. I'm just trying to keep the eggs moving so that way they don't cook along the bottom, though the sugar does help prevent them from cooking as fast. But I'm also making sure the temperature is getting evenly distributed throughout the egg whites. Okay, so once your egg whites reach 150 degrees, take them off the double boiler and go ahead and whip them up on medium-high speed until they reach about medium stiff peaks. Alright, so my egg white meringue has reached stiff peaks, as you can see. And you can normally just dab it on to your lemon meringue pie, but you can also pipe it on. Now, you see me dab it on in some of the other episodes, like the key lime pie episode, but I'm going to pipe it on so you guys can see how it looks for a different effect. Okay, I'm going to use an 825 star tip. I'm just going to pipe this like lots and lots of rosettes. To do that, all we're going to do is pipe a tight E and then another one on top of that. Alright, and then to finish it off, we'll just take our creme brulee torch and we'll just brown our rosette. Alright, and there you go. There's our finished lemon meringue pie.